emotions don't actually work that way. They're not problems to solve, they're signals. Every emotion carries information about your internal state. Not always perfect information, not always something you need to act on, but something worth noticing. For example, anxiety often gets treated like something that needs to be eliminated immediately. But anxiety usually appears when your mind is trying to anticipate something. It's looking ahead, trying to prepare, trying to prevent something from going wrong. That doesn't mean anxiety is always correct, but it does mean something in the system is asking for attention. The same is true for other emotions. Frustration can point to something that feels blocked. Sadness can point to something that mattered. Overwhelm can point to too much happening without enough space. But when emotions are immediately labeled as bad, people skip over the information. They go straight into resistance. And resistance tends to make emotions last longer because now there are two things happening at once: the original emotion and the reaction to the emotion. I feel anxious turns into I shouldn't feel anxious. I feel overwhelmed now turns into I need to fix this right now. And that added pressure makes the experience heavier. But something shifts when emotions are treated differently, not as commands or problems, but as information. Instead of reacting immediately, there's a small pause. What is this actually pointing to? Not in an intense or an analytical way, just a moment of curiosity. And that curiosity softens the experience because now the emotion is being acknowledged instead of being resisted. And when emotions are acknowledged, they tend to move more naturally. They rise, they're felt, and then they shift. Emotions are not designed to stay in your body permanently, they're meant to pass through. But they often get stuck when they're pushed away or judged. When someone allows an emotion to exist without immediately trying to change it, something interesting happens. It becomes less overwhelming. Not because it disappeared instantly, but because it's no longer being fought. This doesn't mean every emotion should be followed. Not every feeling is a direction, but every feeling is a message about what's happening internally. And when someone learns how to read those messages without panicking, they start understanding themselves in a deeper way. They stop fearing their own reactions. They stop feeling like they're constantly trying to manage themselves. And instead, there's a sense of being in conversation with their own experience. Thoughts are noticed, emotions are felt, and neither one automatically controls